In this video, we're going to go over the client acquisition system. Now, this particular system here is very precise. It's a 7-step system, and each step along the way builds upon the previous one. So let's go right ahead and jump in here. So the first step in our client acquisition system is generating leads. In order for you to message businesses and contact them about more business, more clients, more customers, more patients, you have to first have a lead list. And we're going to walk through several places where you can find leads, where you can find email addresses, contact information, and also where you can buy custom-made lists. So this is a very first step here. We are going to look for a set of leads in a particular niche or even a couple different niches when we're first starting out, so we can start doing our outreach. And then after we have our lead list, we know exactly who we're targeting. This is where we're going to be creating our messaging and then sending that out to business owners. This is going to be done through various different outreach methods such as cold email, direct messages, Facebook ads, cold calling, direct mail, right? Various other methods that we're going to be using throughout this course. And in this section here, for this lead generation machine, you're going to have access to several templates for cold calling, cold email, for sending direct messages, for running Facebook ads, even doing direct mail, to be able to outreach to these businesses and get them to respond back and then be able to get you into a discovery meeting. And so the third step is that discovery call, that discovery meeting. So you've reached out to the business owners and you've mentioned to them about getting more customers, generating more leads, more patients, right? And they've responded back to you and they've mentioned that they're interested in learning more. They want to know about your system, about your process. This is where you get them on a call for about 15 to 20 minutes. And within this call, you're positioning yourself as the expert. This is where you're asking about their business, their process, how much a new customer is worth to them. So you're essentially acting as a doctor where you're diagnosing them, finding out what's working in their business and which areas you can help improve upon, where you'll notice that a lot of these businesses are relying solely on referrals and word of mouth networking. And so they don't really have a digital marketing strategy in place. And so this is where you come in, you position yourself as the expert, you diagnose your situation, and then you prescribe them the right type of marketing channel, whether that be Facebook ads or Google ads. And if you're just starting out and you're not really sure which platform to use, I would recommend starting out using Google because it has the lowest learning curve and it's a whole lot easier for you to get up and running versus working with Facebook ads. And as you go through this course, you'll find that you're going to become an expert in Facebook ads and Google ads. So it's a matter of you being able to position that service that you feel the most comfortable with, because ultimately Facebook or Google, more often than not, both of those platforms are going to work for your client. However, with Facebook, there's a little bit more of influence and persuasion and irresistible offers that need to be created. Versus with Google, you can get your client new customers, new patients that are already in the market. So it's a lot easier for you to get them results. And then number 4, this is the presentation and the close. So we had our discovery call. We found out about their situation, that they are just relying on referrals, networking, word of mouth. Maybe they worked with another company previously and they did not get the results that they were looking for, right? All that information is what you need to be gathering at that discovery call. And we have a specific script for you to follow for that. And then at the end of that discovery call, what you're selling is this new appointment here. And this is the presentation call. So at the end of the discovery call, you're on there and you're telling them, okay, well, it sounds like this may be an opportunity for us to work together. Hey, our next step would be for us to schedule a follow-up call where I'll walk you through our entire process and system. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons, right? So we scheduled this presentation call here. We walk them through a screen share presentation, showing them how we're going to get results. And then we're closing them on a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month agreement. Now, after we do the presentation, everything looks good. Let's say they agree to a 6-month agreement. Okay, great. This is where we send them an invoice. So first they need to sign the agreement. and then you will receive a notification letting you know that, hey, XYZ company or XYZ person has signed their agreement. And then this is where we send out an automated reoccurring billing invoice via Wave Apps. Okay, I recommend Wave Apps because it's free and you can create automated billing. So this is very important here, because if you do not set them up into a reoccurring monthly invoice plan, then you're going to be chasing them each month for a payment, right? When I first started, I was sending invoices each month. I was chasing people, and it just ruined some relationships that would have worked very well if it wasn't for me having to chase them for actually taking care of the invoice. So what you need to do is anytime a new client signs up, you send them an invoice, you make sure that it's reoccurring, and then each month at the same date, they're going to automatically receive that invoice. And if they add their credit card, which they should be doing, then each month it'll automatically bill them. And so each month you'll receive a notification saying, congrats, you've gotten paid, and then you'll get a copy of the receipt, and so will they. And so after we collect the payment, this is where we onboard the client. Now, this is something that I really want you to pay attention to, because if you do not do this correctly, then you're going to have a bunch of unnecessary phone calls, emails, and you'll have your client unknowingly taking advantage of you because you didn't set any boundaries. So as soon as a client signs up and they pay the invoice, they sign the agreement, we send over welcome emails that pre-frame how our relationship is going to go. And in this program, you're going to have access to those emails. In these emails, it thanks them for trusting us as a trusted source, as a trusted marketing agency to deliver results. And we understand that they have high expectations, and then we also have expectations as well. And this is where you set the hours of operation, the best way for them to get a hold of you. For example, in the welcome emails, we let them know that, hey, if you like to get on a call with us, please email me or email us, and then we can schedule a time that's mutually beneficial within the next 24 hours. Because if you don't mention that, then you're going to get phone calls all the time. And it's not going to be the client's fault. It's going to be your fault for not pre-framing them and letting them know how this process goes, right? The other thing is making sure that with email, if for whatever reason they email you and they're getting upset because you didn't respond within an hour or two, whatever, right? That is your fault. That's why with our email pre-framing, we're sending the emails and we're letting them know, hey, listen, oftentimes we will respond within a couple hours, as soon as we can. However, we're always going to respond within 24 hours, because more often than not, clients are not going to have something that's an immediate fire that needs attention immediately or right away, right? So it's important for you to understand that what we're doing here is letting them know how our relationship is going to go. And you only want to do this when you're onboarding the client after they've signed the agreement and they've paid the invoice, okay? With the onboarding emails, this is where we're also requesting company information for the ad creatives and or getting business logos, business pictures, anything that we can get from the business that would aid us in our ad creation, right? And then any kind of login information for any kind of ad accounts. If you're working with Google, any type of Google ad accounts, if they already have one set up, or if they're going to need you to create one, which is very simple. And so after we onboard the client, this is where we go to step number 7, and we have the campaign launch. Regardless of whatever platform you're using, if you're using Google Ads, if you're using Facebook, right? The launch time for the campaign launch should be within 2 weeks. It shouldn't take longer than that. And if you're working with a white label agency partner, that should be about the time frame as well. Typically about 2 weeks to get all the ad creative put together, keyword research, if you're doing AdWords, ad copy, everything that goes into creating the ads, setting everything up. And the 2-week time frame should be plenty of time to get everything started. And so here's a visual representation of the client acquisition system. You'll notice number 1 at the very top, we have leads. This is our funnel. We want to make sure that we have a lead list. If we're going after, let's say, home remodeling companies, if we're going after kitchen remodeling companies, right? Whatever that may be, we want to make sure first we have our leads ready to go. And then step two, this is where we're outreaching to the businesses. We're asking them if they can take on more customers, more patients. When they respond back and they say, yes, I'm interested, then the next step is getting them on a discovery call, learning about their business, finding out what type of clients, customers, patients they want to take more on, and then getting them on a presentation call where we show them our process, our system, as to how we're going to deliver them new opportunities, new leads, new customers, new patients, right? And then on that presentation call, we're closing them, and then we are sending over the invoice, we're collecting payment, and then number 6, we're onboarding them with the right emails, with letting them know how this relationship is going to go. And then number 7, finally, we have our campaign launch. And as I mentioned, you want to let your client know that typically it takes about 2 weeks to get everything set up. And if it takes less than that, then that's great. And realistically, it shouldn't take you more than 5. And realistically, after the client provides you with all the right information, they've answered the questions as far as the onboarding information about their business, then realistically, it shouldn't take you more than a week. But we're telling them 2 weeks so that we can under promise and over deliver, right? If we come back and we tell them, hey, it's going to take us about 2 weeks, maybe more, and then we come back within, a week, and we have everything running, that's going to be over delivering, and the client is going to love that. So this is our client acquisition system here. In the next videos, we're going to walk through several different places where we can gather leads, where we can find different businesses, where we can find their contact information and be able to start building up our lead list. So that's going to be it here for this one, and we'll see you on the next one.